What's going on, everybody? Welcome to part 3 of our Playing Air Hockey with the Robotic Arm series. In the last video, we worked on some color filtering to at least hopefully find mostly the puck, but we noticed that we were finding quite a few other things, and then also having a hard time always finding the puck depending on where it was on the board. In this video, what I'd like to cover is the changes that I would make here to better detect the puck, also to get rid of the edges around the game board, and actually learn a new function that exists in CV. I don't know when it came about, but super useful. And then also get the center of the puck itself. So, and then also in sort of theory, filter out some of the outlier detections that we get. So let's get started. So first of all, right now I don't have the thing running. Whenever we're ready to watch the puck move around or whatever, I'll go ahead and run it. Otherwise it's like this horrible fan noise in the background. So anyways, let me just run the script real quick just so we can see where we are. So we can see that, yeah, we got the puck, but we've got some stuff going on around. And for whatever reason, when the puck was getting over here, it was kind of causing trouble. So I'm actually going to change how we're detecting the puck, and the threshold we could probably keep the same, but I'm actually just going to copy and paste over the values that I'm going to go with. So from puck to the reds, I'm going to paste in. So this is just the lower red value, the upper red value, and then I went back to the Gaussian blur. And then this is the threshold that I'm using. So let me just run that real quick. Make sure what image crop? Oh, right. Okay, so there are some other changes that we're going to make. So let me go ahead and make those other changes as well. So part of me doesn't want to make them just yet, though. Do I have? Is that the only? I think that's the only call for image crop. Yeah. So we'll just pass frame and frame for now, and then I'm going to forget to fix that later, most likely. Anyway, okay, so this actually looks very similar to the one that we had before, where we were finding a lot of stuff around the edge, but the edge here in this case is off of the playing field, the playing board anyways. So we actually could just trim those away. Now in the past, to select a region of interest, I would have just kind of manually done it. But this, of course, causes trouble depending on if the board moves or whatever. So it would be nice to be able to do this every time uniquely. And I stumbled upon this new function that's literally select ROI. So before I forget, let me just edit undo. Also, just want to say all of the text, the sample code I will put up also for, since I know a lot of people, first of all, aren't buying the expensive robotic arm, but then not everyone's going to buy an air hockey table and all that. And if you still want to take part, what I'm going to do is not only will I upload the image that you could use, but also I'll upload a short video clip, basically. That way you can also detect the puck and all that kind of stuff in a video clip form. I'm going to put everything up on both Python Programming.net, but also I'll have everything on a GitHub. I probably won't do the GitHub until we're a little further along. It's kind of silly for me to put it up and then people start making changes, but it's like, well, I'm already beyond that point. I've probably made the same changes or something like that. So anyways, I probably won't have the official GitHub up for a little bit, but at least to start, I'd like to at least have some examples of at least how you can read in the video feed and an image and all that, so people can still take part without having to buy all the stuff. So anyways, the next thing, so image crop. So what we're going to do is basically after we've done the setting of our resolution, what I'm going to go ahead and do is for I in range 15, all we're going to do here is just iterate through, and in fact, I'm just going to say cap.read. We're just going to iterate through some frames because for whatever reason, every time you first start in CV, it's almost like it fades in. So it's like black and then it slowly fades into the camera. So we don't really want to, it's kind of hard to select your region of interest when that's doing that. So anyway, you'll see what I mean in a minute. I'll show you if I recall. Anyways, so then what we're going to do is find the region of interest. So we're going to say cv2.select ROI, and then we select the ROI on a frame. So in fact, we will need to do this in frame equals cap read. So now, what that does for us is actually super cool. So what comes up first is this ROI selector, and then you'll just click and drag the region of interest that you're interested in, and you're good. And then once you're happy, I think you can hit enter, space, or something else. I don't know. But anyways, you can hit enter, and then it goes. We hit an error, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's because of image crop, and that's fine. So then once you get that region of interest, this just gives you that region. So basically, it gives you the coordinates of that region of interest. So then you would want to apply those coordinates to your frame. So I'm just going to copy and paste that in. But basically, you're just slicing the frame. Okay. So then we crop the image. Then we're going to convert it as we did before. And in fact, HSV will now be done against image crop. Okay, image crop, good, 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 good. I just want to make sure we're not doing anything with that frame anymore. No, we are not. So now, if we run that again, we can run, you select the region that you're interested in, hit enter, and I'm not happy with how that did that. Why would it do that? It's as if what? Why would it do that to me? I don't appreciate it, brother. Try to compare it to what I know works. Well, it's probably this resize. Let's try it. Frame resize. We don't really want to do that. That's probably what was causing our trouble, actually. Let me try that one more time. Cool. Okay, so now that looks a lot more like what we're looking for. You can't fully tell, but basically you can see the puck's near the top, and in our final screen, that's where the puck is. You can see we've got a little bit of flicker of red over here, but I'll show you what I'm going to do to get rid of that here in a second. So everything looks pretty good. And now what we'd want to do is if we are going to control the arm, we need to know where that puck actually is. So what I'm going to do is exit out of here, and I'm going to come back down here to where we've got these like where clauses. And again, I think we'll just copy and paste the code that I've written here. Don't really see why we'd want to write it all out. So paste, and I'm going to get rid of that. So the X's are here, the Y's are here, and actually I'm pretty confident those are flipped. I think we'll have to flip those later. I think I'm just going to flip it right now. I'm pretty confident it's actually Y then X. We'll see that later on. But anyways, so now we're just getting all the X values, so the X pixel locations. Then what I want to do is calculate the standard deviation. And then what I'd like to do is basically we're going to come down here and get the initial average of all of the X's, whatever that initial average is. So when you have that big old blob and then you've got a couple little X's over here, what we're going to then say is now, once we figure out what that initial average is and what the standard deviation is, what I'm doing down here is basically iterating over all of the X's and asking, we're going to say it's X for X in X's. If X is less than or equal to the initial average plus the standard deviation, or X is greater than or equal to that initial average minus the standard deviation. If it is outside of those bounds, then we're going to go ahead and say that it's an outlier and we throw it out. Once we've done that, then we're going to calculate the true average, the X average, and the Y average. And then you have a pixel, well, yeah, sort of a pixel location. We've done a lot of trimming and stuff like that. But then you have an actual location for the thing that we're attempting to track, and we're just going to print those out now. So now what I'm going to do is just run this one more time, and we'll select the region of interest. and then we run. And so as you can see here, we've got X and Y are both, is that true? Let's see, X. Oh, these are so the 6s and 7s that you're seeing, those are the standard deviations. So the other thing you could plausibly do is if standard deviation is like 15 or 18 or whatever, if the standard deviation is more than the standard deviation is usually, right, you could use that logically to your advantage to know, maybe we don't go based on whatever number we're seeing now. So basically the idea is once you know where the puck is, you can always know where the arm's position is. We can always pull the arm to figure out where the arm is. So then what we can do is we can position the arm based on where the puck's position is in terms of X and Y. Now with OpenCV, I don't think you can see my mouse. Weird. Sometimes you can see my mouse and sometimes you can't. Anyways, where my mouse is right now, in theory, that's X is 0, Y is 0. And then it goes X out like this, and then Y goes out downward. Unfortunately, you can't always see my mouse, but anyways, that's the way it works. So yeah, right here is where 0, 0 is actually. So now what I'd like to do is, I guess I kind of want to, I just want to comment out the standard deviation part, just so we can see as the puck moves. I don't like this one. Let's redraw that one. The camera also needs to be tilted slightly, but that's okay. We're just kind of debugging right now. Anyways, okay, so you can see here the X is 500, the Y is 17-ish or so, and that appears to be correct. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it on and kind of bump the puck and we can watch. Okay, so everything looks to be in order. The puck appears to be tracking pretty darn well. We appear to be tracking the actual center point of the puck pretty well as well. So now what we're ready to do is move on to the next part, which is moving the arm in conjunction with the puck and also hopefully hitting the puck. So the idea here in this case, I just have the one arm. I'd love to get a second arm. We'll see about that. And so for now, I'm actually just hitting it to the end, and you can't quite see it. You can sort of see it on the video, actually. This part right here that I'm going around is actually just a piece of cardboard I stuck in the goal box. So anytime it comes over here and actually hits this area, it's actually, it just bounces off the cardboard. And I've done the same thing on the other side, so there's no way the puck's going anywhere. But later on, what I can do is I can actually color this a color that doesn't yet exist. We could go with like a blue, for example, or some other color too. And basically once you color that, basically if the puck is to hit it, we could say, oh, that was a score, and we can use that to reinforce certain behaviors in the model so it can actually train itself later on. Anyway, that is all for now. As always, if you've got questions, comments, concerns, whatever, feel free to leave them below. If you want to support the content, head to pythonprogramming.net/support. If you've got ideas for improvement, have I made some mistakes? I'm sure I have. Feel free to post them below. Hopefully by the time you're watching this, there will at least be a slight GitHub up with at least some samples and stuff like that in it. There won't be a finished product, and we'll be continuing to work on this most likely by the time this video comes up. But anyways, feel free to submit your ideas or help out or any way you can. So anyways, we'll see you in the next video.